The story begins with a game being played on a computer screen. The screen shows that the king who had united the 8 nations had finally ascended to the supreme. The computer game congratulates the player on becoming the first king to sit on the throne of souls and mentions that the player's rewards have been distributed, which can be used after fulfilling specific circumstances. The young man shouts in happiness that, finally, he did it. Suddenly, a mysterious figure named Master Huixin appears and congratulates the young man on his achievement. In a taunting way, Master Huixin tells him that he is nothing but an ant and asks if he really wants to become a king, stating that his sin is unforgivable. The man gets stabbed. Then, a hospital room scene unfolds where a voice says that a 20-year-old male is suffering from massive internal bleeding. The voice instructs him to give him CPR and counts aloud. 1, 2, 3. The young man wakes up in disbelief and shouts, questioning what's going on. He reflects on being stabbed and wonders where he is now. Finding himself sitting on a pile of corpses, he questions aloud why he is in such a place and who he is. He feels like his head is ripping apart and asks what is happening to him. Suddenly, he remembers that his name is Bai Kai. He is 20 years old, and he is a game streamer. He recalls that he was not popular at the beginning, but his followers increased rapidly due to his recent live stream of a game called the open-world RPG game The Throne of Souls. The game is highly praised for its unique world setting and high-quality visuals, despite its high difficulty and elements of torture and suffering that drew many players to live streams. Bai Kai had enjoyed playing the game and slowly rose to the top, but he was suddenly killed. He hears a voice saying that he is dead but still living. To be precise, he was reborn. The voice asks him whether he has recovered from the side effects of rebirth. Bai Kai gets confused, thinking that the voice sounds familiar. The voice also announces that, from a highly dimensional perspective, every gamer creates their own world. Bai Kai questions if the voice is the game platform's assistant. The voice assistant confirms that as Bai Kai's death triggered the special reward obtained from the Throne of Souls key of rebirth, he has been reborn in the world of the Throne of Souls. Bai Kai is shocked that he was reborn into this world, thinking sarcastically that if he had to be reborn, why couldn't it be in a world of beauty and ease, like a love game? He feels angry that he was reborn into what he considers a hellish world like the Throne of Souls, thinking it might be better to just die and avoid suffering. The voice continues, explaining that the Key of Rebirth is a special reward exclusive to Throne of Souls. Other games don't offer this opportunity. Hearing this, Bai Kai sadly remarks that it feels more like misfortune than an opportunity, based on his experience playing similar games before. He questions the voice about its true purpose and what it wants from him. The voice assistant replies simply, encouraging Bai Kai to do his best and aim to sit on the Throne of Souls again. Success would be rewarded with an even greater prize, the Key of Time Travel, allowing travel through the game's world and potentially back to his original world. Bai Kai asks why such a reward wasn't given from the beginning, expressing interest despite the game's rebirth limitations that expose him to potential danger from any ordinary street dog. The voice acknowledges his concerns, noting that, while true, Bai Kai is not entirely naive. Explaining further, the voice reveals that under Bai Kai's account on the game world platform, there are 100 different types of runs, each with complete achievements. Bai Kai can complete tasks and goals across these runs to inherit various abilities and equipment. Bai Kai is astonished, realizing he could inherit abilities and equipment from the 100 different runs he has completed. He expresses excitement at the thought of using all these abilities and equipment. The voice emphasizes that Bai Kai has the choice to use these abilities or live as a civilian, which is safer but comes with its own risks like disasters and famine. Thinking critically, Bai Kai concludes that the system offered him the civilian option to challenge his determination to pursue the path of becoming a king. He asserts that after 20 years as a normal civilian in his previous life, he cannot return to that existence. Finally, he asks if there are time limits or penalties for pursuing the path of becoming a king. The voice assistant reassures him that there are no time limits or penalties. Encouraged, Bai Kai excitedly confirms his decision to choose the path of becoming a king. The voice acknowledges the decision and states that the contract has been signed, hoping Bai Kai ascends the throne of souls again soon. Bai Kai then hears a voice saying, "Hey boy." Looking around, he spots a shaking figure and realizes the voice is coming from it. The figure confirms it is indeed the one who is hanging upside down and asks why Bai Kai, who had seemingly died a few days ago, is now alive. The figure wonders aloud if Bai Kai has been reborn but quickly dismisses further discussion, urging Bai Kai to find a way to free them before the beasts return to the cave. The figure introduces itself as Princess Guard Elf Mage Grey. Alongside them are a man in armor, a cat-like figure, and a girl with sky blue hair who is Princess Mina of the Kingdom of Stars. The armored man questions Grey's faith in Bai Kai's ability to rescue them, mocking his previous fear and emotional outbursts when he cried for his parents. The cat sighs in resignation, dismissing titles and positions as irrelevant in their current predicament and expressing fatigue. Bai Kai recognizes the names of these figures and realizes they are not NPCs he should encounter immediately upon arrival in the game. Reflecting on the game's difficulty level, named Wailing Cave LV 2030, he contemplates its status as a beginner's birthplace, finding it terrifying. He concludes that this is indeed a hell-level difficulty, noting that it is as unreasonable and shocking as he expected. Starting at level 1 with an undecided human class, Bai Kai realizes that rebirth is both an end and a beginning for him. Despite the challenges, he is determined to embark on the path of becoming a king, starting from what feels like a dead end. Bai Kai reflected on the storyline of the game, noting its complete disorder. The main storyline was a mess, starting with his birth in Anka Village for levels 110, followed by the Burnt Jungle levels 10-20. Where quests triggered a forced storyline. Next was the Wailing Cave levels 20-30 to rescue Princess Mana and her party, and then strategize and break out of the dungeon. He decided to focus on immediate tasks and began by choosing an initial profession to plan tactics for future escapes. He exclaimed, "System, activate the initial profession selection." A golden light filled the cave as the voice announced, "Initial profession selection has been activated. Player Bai Kai, please choose your profession." Various professions appeared before him. A brave warrior with a long sword and shield, a wood mage skilled in staff and spell use, an assassin proficient with throwing knives, an elemental figure mastering natural elements, and an outcast with nothing but rags and a wooden stick. Bai Kai chose the outcast profession despite its high difficulty. The game assistant questioned his choice, wondering why he opted for the most challenging path. Bai Kai explained, "The profession choice affects early game survival and playstyle. Only the Outcast offers the highest replayability and a hidden feature allowing unlimited profession switching in mid-game." The game's voice assistant acknowledged Bai Kai's strategic approach and updated the main quests. The screen displayed the main quest, survive and reach the exit of the Wailing Cave, with a reward of 1 account unlock point unlocking 25% of the current game account's items without restrictions or a new account with 25% usage rights. While contemplating the importance of survival and escape from the dungeon, Bai Kai was interrupted when one of the figures hanging upside down urged him to cut the rope for a collective escape. Bai Kai acted swiftly, cutting the rope despite questioning the consequences. Grey thanked him for saving them from potential death. The man with armor, holding Princess Mana, urged Grey to focus on waking her. Suddenly, a level 30 Plague Beast clan leader named Bloodaxe Modic appeared, shocking everyone. The monster threatened them, declaring they were food for storage. Bai Kai realized he faced a difficult choice: rescue them and face the dungeon boss, or prioritize his own survival. Grey criticized his hesitation, questioning if he planned to abandon them. Bai Kai asserted his priority was survival, but hinted at intentions Grey couldn't understand yet. A level 5 Plague Beast cub attacked Bai Kai, prompting laughter from Grey, who doubted Bai Kai's ability to survive. Despite the challenge, Bai Kai dodged every attack with precise timing, surprising Princess Mana with his skill. Bai Kai felt confident in his reflexes, honed from countless battles without professional equipment bonuses. He attacked the monster with his wooden stick, declaring, "The grinding begins." Bai Kai delivered his final blow to the beast, causing it to perish. The entire team of Princess Mana was shocked at this sight. Gray exclaimed that the boy had managed to kill a level 5 beast without taking any damage, using just a wooden stick. The cat-like figure looked enviously at the dead beast, while the man in armor admitted that he had underestimated Bai Kai, but also pointed out that killing a level 5 beast didn't guarantee his survival chances at all. After dispatching the monster, Bai Kai admitted to himself that even though he could evade its attacks due to experience and predictions, the power gap couldn't be closed in a short time. He acknowledged that his weapons were still too weak, but it didn't matter since he had already chosen the outcast profession. He realized he had to adapt to unconventional playstyles and avoid any fights other than forced battles as much as possible. The computer screen displayed that the player had defeated the level 5 Plague Beast Cub and obtained 100 spirit points, 2 golden coins, and a weapon, a broken mace with melee attack power +5. While examining his stat panel, Bai Kai accepted that his stats were as bad as expected. He still needed 900 points to upgrade, so killing monsters for points wasn't a viable strategy. His priority was to escape the cave as soon as possible. As Bai Kai prepared to leave, Gray shouted from behind, asking him to consider working together to escape, suggesting they would be stronger together. Gray proposed that if Bai Kai let them go, he could have whatever conditions he wanted, whether it was gold coins, equipment, or anything else. Bai Kai calmly stated that there was no need to pester anymore, emphasizing that if they couldn't get out of trouble with their own power, it was okay if they died. He questioned how they would overcome bigger troubles in restoring their nation if they couldn't handle this difficulty. Someone from Princess Mana's team shouted, "When did you wake up, Princess?" The princess replied to Bai Kai that even though she found his decision unwise as an abandoned child at level 1, she still respected it. She cautioned him about the thin line between life and death, advising him to be cautious. Bai Kai replied that he had his own plans, which he didn't want to share. He expressed doubt that they would believe him even if he said he would come back to save them. The man in armor grew upset, questioning whether Bai Kai was joking or insulting their intelligence. Gray told House to focus on finding a way out instead of wasting energy on cursing Bai Kai. Bai Kai thought about the original plot, considering that even if he didn't save them, Princess Mana's team would find a way to escape on their own. However, he pondered that not saving them would mean missing several achievements related to Princess Mina. He decided that whether to save them or not would depend on whether he could reach the exit smoothly and the kind of reward he would get. He understood that allies were important, but his survival came first. Bai Kai observed the cave and, based on his experience, knew which paths encountered fewer enemies. By choosing that path, he anticipated encountering a key character. Hiding behind a stone, Bai Kai noticed a large vase. A voice came from inside the vase, informing him that they knew he wasn't a plague beast from his smell and asking him to come closer without fear. The voice explained that they were inside the jar, having originally gone into the cave for treasures and hiding inside the jar to avoid plague beasts. They were sealed inside by faulty magic and couldn't escape. They asked Bai Kai to break the jar, promising that there were no plague beasts around. Bai Kai broke the vase with a single blow, prompting the man inside to exclaim happily that he had done it. Introducing himself as Lucci of LV 27 with an unknown human class, he thanked Bai Kai, saying that he owed him a favor. Bai Kai asked Lucci to help him save his friends captured by plague beasts inside the cave, explaining that he was too weak to do it himself. Lucci responded that Bai Kai was brave, but not wise, yet fortunate to have met him. He agreed to follow Bai Kai's lead, promising safety. As Bai Kai led the way, an adult plague beast of LV 27 suddenly appeared before them. Recognizing the beast, Lucci exclaimed that it was the one who had sealed him inside the jar. Lucci attacked the beast instantly, shouting that it had left him in the jar and now it would die for it. With a single blow, Lucci slashed the beast's neck. Bai Kai looked on happily, surprised, remarking to himself how awesome Lucci was. Lucci added that it was audacious for anyone to enter the cave without abilities. Continuing their journey, Bai Kai arrived at a huge hole and announced that it was the place where he had heard his friend's voice from down below. He expressed uncertainty about his friend's ability to hold on and urged Lucci to find a quick way to save him. Lucci replied casually that it was easy, and then kicked Bai Kai into the hole. Standing at the edge, Lucci commented on his old habit of kicking people standing on the edge of a cliff. He admitted he had resisted the impulse because Bai Kai had saved him, but noted that Bai Kai being reborn might mean an inevitable punishment upon discovery. From inside the hole, Bai Kai shouted, asking how Lucci knew he was reborn. Shocked, Lucci muttered to himself about how Bai Kai could still be alive after falling from such a height. Deep inside the hole, Bai Kai realized that if he had jumped down himself, he would have died. However, being kicked down had saved him. Bai Kai also recognized the potential usefulness of the place, finding a blood spirit jar and a glowing stone. Meanwhile, Lucci regretted not having stabbed Bai Kai, knowing that reborns were peculiar. He concluded that Bai Kai was trapped in an abyss and would die sooner or later, and he walked away. While drinking from the blood spirit jar, Bai Kai pondered his plan. He understood that Lucci was an insidious NPC who liked to kick players into the abyss, taking advantage of the mechanism that kicks but doesn't kill. Bai Kai pondered the entire game plot, formulating a strategy from the start. The Throne of Souls was renowned for its fragmented plot development and narrative techniques. Having cleared all levels and achievements, Bai Kai felt he knew everything about this world, except for a few new, unknown elements. At the heart of the imaginary world of Pascalo lies a massive crystal known as the World of Souls. Under its brilliance and energy, all species coexisted harmoniously until one day, when a spacecraft named Deep Void Unmanned Advanced Ship crashed suddenly into this world, coincidentally at the location of the World of Souls. The foundation of Pascalo collapsed abruptly, fracturing the world and giving rise to diverse species and civilizations. Bai Kai found himself in one of the abandoned ruins of the underground civilization, deep under the Wailing Cave, near an unknown underground river outlet. The mission instructed him to reach an exit alive, without specifying which one. This tempted Bai Kai to consider an alternate route, unguarded by the Plague Beast clan, despite its higher death rate. To survive, he had to accurately locate platforms protruding from rock walls. One misstep could be fatal. For Bai Kai, who had accumulated experience through countless deaths, reaching the abyss's bottom posed no issue. His main concern was the narrowing metal platforms as he descended. Mistakes became more costly, even with his familiarity with their locations. Nearly slipping once, he resolved to be more cautious, thinking to himself, "I must be close to the bottom." Suddenly, a voice from behind startled him, inquiring about the proximity of the exit. Bai Kai shouted in surprise, demanding to know who it was. The man introduced himself as Harvey, a human elemental ranger of LV 30, teasing Bai Kai for his temper and jesting about scaring him. He added in a sinister tone, "I should have killed you without warning." Recalling something, Bai Kai asked if Harvey had been among the corpses at the cave's bottom. Harvey mocked him for his slow reaction and disclosed that they were both reborn. Bai Kai, reborn into a level 1 outcast's body, was considered particularly unlucky compared to Harvey's level 28 elemental ranger status. Laughing mockingly, Harvey dismissed Bai Kai as a side character unworthy of his effort to kill. He suddenly exclaimed, "Teleport!" and struck Bai Kai's abdomen before Bai Kai could evade. Bleeding and confused, Bai Kai asked Harvey why he attacked, emphasizing that as regressors, they should help each other. Harvey sneered, explaining that regressors were enemies to everyone, especially to each other. he expressed disappointment in Bai Kai's ignorance and taunted, "You've wasted your reborn opportunity." As Bai Kai attempted to retaliate, Harvey dismissed him with a cynical "tusk, tusk, tusk," and decided not to kill him directly, instead kicking him into the abyss and leaving his survival to chance. As Bai Kai fell, he pleaded with the system for more information about regressors and the world, receiving only a cryptic reply to unlock hidden information himself. Falling, Bai Kai lamented his imminent death, clinging desperately to a rock. Determined not to squander his reborn chance, he struggled onward, nearly reaching the cave's bottom. Harvey kicked him again, causing intense pain, but Bai Kai resolved to endure, viewing it as his final gamble. Finally reaching the ground, Bai Kai declared to himself, "I won the bet. The exit is just 10 meters ahead. I'll crawl out." Suddenly, he heard a noise and detected a strange smell. A level 25 wiggly tooth fusion beast stood before him. In pain, Bai Kai exclaimed, "There shouldn't be any monsters here. How did this happen?" Bai Kai recalled with certainty that there shouldn't have been any monsters at the exit of the underground river. Pushing off the creature's slow movement and crawling towards the exit as swiftly as possible, the beast, with its many eyes, suddenly split into smaller, faster forms and completely surrounded him. Bai Kai realized it was the regressor from earlier who had lured these creatures to trap him. The tiny monsters attacked fiercely, and Bai Kai shouted defiantly, "Don't underestimate someone who has fought through hundreds of battles." In an attempt to evade, he leaped into the river, only to discover it wasn't ordinary water, but an acidic flow, mutated and polluted over thousands of years. Enduring the excruciating pain caused by the acidic water, Bai Kai reflected that at least his clothes offered some protection, unlike the exposed skin of the Wiggletooth fusion beast, which was fatal. Crawling towards the exit while under attack by the beasts, Bai Kai pondered whether to risk his life to escape. Amidst this struggle, memories of his past life flooded his mind. Born in a poor mountainous area, he had left his mother and home in pursuit of a better future, studying tirelessly despite facing hardships like washing dishes and enduring scoldings for not working properly. Even in his dormitory, his efforts to study at night were met with criticism from his roommate, who accused him of disturbing others during the day. Despite securing admission to his dream university, his hopes were shattered when he was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Devastated, he abandoned his studies, took on jobs like a delivery boy, and endured public reprimands for tardiness, yet failed to save his mother. Eventually, he found solace in part-time work and streaming games, achieving unexpected popularity due to a particular game. Just as he was about to reach the peak, he unexpectedly died. Bai Kai vowed not to accept being born into this game, which seemed like a cruel joke, and resolved to stand up and fight. Running out of the cave, he shouted defiantly, "I refuse to die. I will become the king of this world." The system appeared and congratulated him on escaping the Wailing Cave, presenting him with various options. Bai Kai chose the first option, and the system informed him that 25% of the items in his previous account's inventory had been unlocked. A green light flashed, and the system displayed that he had used the Holy Blood Essence, which immediately restored 100% of his blood and permanently increased his peak level by +30. He also equipped the Bloodthirsty Shadow set, enhancing his agility and intelligence with special effects like Shadow Sting. Additionally, he wielded the Scarlet Killing Blade, the ultimate weapon for a stealthy assassin, with a combat skill called Scarlet Flame. Transformed by these acquisitions, Bai Kai exclaimed triumphantly, "This is how a reborn king should look." The Wiggletooth fusion beasts attacked again, but this time Bai Kai countered with confidence, assured of his choice to select props from his previous account, even if it was just 25% for beginning levels. Observing Bai Kai's transformation, the Wiggletooth fusion beasts fused back together to attack him anew. The system displayed an announcement about a hidden mission to defeat the Wiggletooth beast, promising 3 times the usual soul points as a reward if successful. Bai Kai engaged the beast with his dagger, utilizing the combat skill Scarlet Flame. He challenged the beast, asking if it was prepared to be reduced to mush and declaring defiantly, "The real battle has just begun." He shouted, "Die," and attacked them. The wiggly beast counterattacked, but Bai Kai already knew its attack patterns. As long as he was fast, he could neutralize it. Bai Kai said the suffering it caused him would be repaid double and used his Scarlet Burn attack, which caused scarlet flames to explode in the cut wound, inflicting damage for 15 seconds. He also inflicted bone excruciating pain using the hidden assassin's combat skills. The incision that went deep into the bones brought excruciating pain. The beast screamed in agony. Bai Kai asked if it was in pain and declared he would put it out of its misery. He then formed the Shadow Assassination Formation, the ultimate combat skill of the hidden assassin, allowing him to transform into several shadow clones focused on one target. The shadow clones were immune to all physical and magical attacks for 5 seconds. The beast screamed in pain, burned with flames, and died. The system appeared again, congratulating Bai Kai on successfully completing the mission and awarding him 18,000 soul points in total. This mission upgraded Bai Kai from level 1 directly to level 8, surprising him, as leveling up in the Throne of Souls was notoriously difficult. He had previously summarized the rules and values for obtaining soul points and leveling up during a game live stream, which, although of no substantial meaning, was well received by the audience. This time he obtained 108 gold coins, a filthy crystal bottle that restored 30% of blood volume after use, and the prayer piercing of suffering, an attack-type prayer that summoned a sharp blade to pierce the 3-dimensional space around one's body with a diameter of 3 meters, activated by a kneeling posture of devotion. Bai Kai thought of how he had always tried to get this skill but had never succeeded. He considered his role as a hidden assassin. Even with all the bonuses and equipment, the most important attribute was agility. In the early stages, he needed to increase his agility. He looked at 25% of his inventory, noting that most items were consumables and ingredients. He found it a bit embarrassing, considering he once had many top-quality weapons and professional sets. It seemed he had not unlocked enough of his inventory. However, besides the hidden assassin set he was using, he had unlocked 2 top-quality sets. The Blood-Armored Dragon set, which required drinking dragon blood to unlock, and the Dragon Spine Sword, which inflicted bone-piercing pain. The dragon, whose spine was turned into a sword, knew true pain. He also had the Starry Sky Prophet set, belonging to the branch of star magic usable by those with an intelligence of 100 or above. The Deep Space Beacon, a top-notch staff made of golden memories from the universe, worked extremely well when paired with star magic. Even if these top-quality sets couldn't be used now, the other items unlocked could ensure his survival in the early stages. Bai Kai then considered whether he should go back to rescue Princess Mina and her party or leave on his own. Based on his understanding of the game, becoming a lone wolf would not cause problems, but the uncertain elements of the regressors worried him. He pondered how much the original game had changed due to the emergence of a regressor, and whether there were any other unknown elements that could change the original settings. Without sufficient information, it would be better to join Princess Mina's party and take risks together while gathering information. According to the original plot, rescuing Princess Mina would make them important allies in the later stages. If they betrayed him now, he could still protect himself. Bai Kai started moving towards the place where Princess Mina and her party were. He encountered many beasts along the way and used the piercing of suffering to wipe them out. After killing the monsters on the main route outside the cave, only the final boss remained. His level increased to 10, and the system congratulated him, informing him that the reputation system was now active. This system allowed players to unite or make enemies at any time. Bai Kai thought about this new system, which didn't exist in the original game, and discouraged lone wolf gameplay. Then, Princess Mina's reputation faction appeared, declaring him her passing enemy. He wondered nervously how badly they had cursed him behind his back. Princess Mina and her team were still tied upside down in the cave. Howes expressed his anger, wondering how Bai Kai could be so foolish as not to save them and instead die alone. Gray mentioned hearing that all regressors only thought about their self-interests and had evil intentions, which was why they were labeled as wanted by all countries. The cat-like figure commented that being targeted by everyone was not a bad way to go and envied Bai Kai. The princess told them not to discuss such useless things, taking full responsibility for their situation as the team leader and the lowest-ranking member. Gray assured her that they had sworn allegiance to her long ago and that she didn't need to apologize. House said their previous complaints were not due to fear of death, but because they were unwilling to see her great wish to restore the country thwarted by an idiotic outcast before she even began trying. At that moment, someone cut the ropes, causing them to fall. Gray shouted to protect the princess. The cat figure felt sad about another failed attempt at dying. House caught the princess just in time and asked if she was fine. She replied that she was. Gray asked if they were planning to save or kill them. The man in the armor suit reassured them, saying it was just a little payback for how they cursed him out. They recognized the voice in surprise. He uncovered his face and said he had promised to return to see them. He warned that the real surprise was coming soon, as the boss would arrive in 1 minute, urging them to get ready for battle without wasting any time. He untied everyone, one by one. The princess acknowledged that they had been saved by him just as the boss of the Plague Beast clan was about to appear and expressed her doubt about his true intentions for rescuing them. Nonetheless, she expressed her gratitude, acknowledging that without his intervention, they would have been left hanging until they turned into bones. Bai Kai replied that it was not yet time for thanks, as the boss would arrive in 40 seconds. He urged them to pick up their weapons and escape together, stating that this would be the greatest gratitude they could show him. House angrily demanded that Bai Kai watch his tone, threatening to decapitate him for his disrespect towards the princess. Gray expressed his surprise at Bai Kai's rapid progress from level 1 to level 10 in less than half a day, commenting on the rumors that every regressor harbors secrets. The cat figure provocatively dared Bai Kai to kill him. Otherwise, he would kill Bai Kai. Bai Kai thought that his deliberately provocative language had an effect and decided to keep going. He told them they could mutilate him if they wanted, but without him, their combat strength would be lacking, and they would have no chance of winning the upcoming boss battle. House angrily declared that he would send Bai Kai on his way for daring to boast at level 10. The princess intervened, instructing House to stop and reminding everyone that it was not the time for emotional outbursts. She ordered them to immediately enter battle mode, stating that there were still many questions and that she would not allow any mistakes to occur. Finally obtaining a glimmer of hope, the princess formed the battle formation. Bai Kai thought that his assessment had passed, noting that Princess Mina's personality had not changed and she remained as fair as ever. He realized that the guards' hostility towards him was due to his previous actions of watching people die without helping, not because of his identity as a regressor, and he believed they could cooperate in the upcoming boss battle. He shouted that there were 10 seconds left and threw a thunderstorm trap towards the boss. He thought about the effects of the thunderstorm trap, which would cause a numbing sensation like an electric shock that lingered until death. He instructed Mina's party to hold on for 3 minutes, wondering aloud what he wanted at that time. The leader of the Plague Beast clan, Bloodaxe Modik, asked why they always wanted to escape and threatened to cook them personally. He stepped on the thunderstorm trap left by Bai Kai and got electrified. The team members wondered if Bai Kai knew the time and location of the boss's appearance. The princess instructed them not to worry about that and to focus on the boss, as they had gained the upper hand. The boss taunted them, questioning how they planned to take him down and mocking their trivial attacks. While others fought the beast, Bai Kai fled. Mina's team attacked the beast from 4 sides, but their efforts were ineffective. The beast mocked them, saying he would use their pain and screams as seasoning. Princess Mina used magic to protect her teammates, while Gray was disappointed about Bai Kai fleeing. House advised Gray to focus on the battle instead of Bai Kai. The The princess reassured them that she could hold on and urged them to find a way to fight back. The boss turned his attention to Mina, calling her the most delicious ingredient of all. House jumped in front of the boss to protect the princess, but his blow had no effect. The boss began to attack House but suddenly cried in pain, turning to ask who had hurt him. Bai Kai, having stabbed the boss from behind, mockingly explained that he had added a little seasoning to the boss's head, using the acid from the Styx River. This angered the boss, who hadn't considered Bai Kai a worthy opponent. The beast asked how Bai Kai knew the Plague Beast clan couldn't bear the river acid. As parts of the beast's body decayed wherever Bai Kai's weapon touched, the boss shouted for everyone to die. Bai Kai warned Mina's team not to go near the boss, explaining that it hadn't lost its sanity, but was actually transforming dead corpses into fighting soldiers. He instructed Mina's team to block the corpse's transformation while he dealt with the boss. Gray expressed concern about Bai Kai facing the boss alone, but the princess ordered her team to follow Bai Kai's plan. Faced with Bai Kai alone, the boss taunted him for having a low level but a big heart. Bai Kai thought that the boss's adaptation speed was within his expectations and noted that the toxin's duration was about 1 minute according to his original plan. He knew he had to resolve the battle within that time to ensure Princess Mina's safety. The boss arrogantly advised Bai Kai to spend more time thinking about how to avoid being turned into minced meat. Bai Kai responded by drawing his scarlet blades, stating that being turned into minced meat was a pretty good way to die, and using the skill Scarlet Xuan Fire to attack the boss beast. The boss hit Bai Kai with a fatal blow. A strange red light filled the area as he declared that Bai Kai was just a lamb waiting to be slaughtered on his cutting board and that all that awaited him was skinning and boning alive. The boss likened Bai Kai's weakness to minced meat in the hands of a cook, able to shape him according to his mood. Bai Kai thought about the boss, Blood Axe Modok, known for his tough skin and rough flesh, and recalled that he must have died at least 30 times before he could get past him. The boss aimed to hit him with a final blow, but Bai Kai dodged. The boss sneered, finding it preposterous that the ingredients dared to rebel. Bai Kai assessed the situation, noting that the boss's attacks were fast, powerful, and accompanied by life-stealing properties. He calculated that with his current health and level, he could withstand at most 2 direct attacks, but his agility was high enough to avoid being hit. He planned to endure the final 2 minutes and use poison to reduce the boss's health, allowing him to safely enter the 3rd phase. The boss attacked again, but Bai Kai dodged. The boss roared, accusing him of relying on speed and calling him a coward for not facing him head-on. Princess Mina, watching the scene, realized that Bai Kai dodged attacks flawlessly, depending solely on his speed. She noted that his understanding of timing and attack range when dodging was more akin to that of a seasoned veteran than that of a rookie who had just leveled up from level 1 to 10. The boss understood Bai Kai's trick, realizing that he was dodging to let the poison weaken him. He laughed, proposing a challenge to see whether the poison would kill him first or if he would chop Bai Kai down. As the battle entered the 3rd phase, the boss used his blood dance technique, declaring that Bai Kai could not escape from his range. Bai Kai anticipated this, knowing that being splattered by blood could cause damage, but he had been waiting for this phase. He recalled that the key to winning this stage was close combat since the boss's attack speed slowed down and defense decreased in the 3rd phase. By utilizing Shadow Sting to enter a specific radius around the boss, he could endure manageable splash attacks and exchange blows. Bai Kai stabbed the boss from behind, causing him to scream in pain. Mina's team thought he had turned the tables. The fierce battle continued, and the boss decided to use his life-saving item, the blood-sucking rune, a special piece of equipment that absorbed blood from a controlled target's body to replenish his own health, making the poison scarlet burn disappear. Bai Kai was unaware of this setting, as it was not present in the original game. Just then, the boss was trapped in a forbidden barrier that cut off his connection with the outside world, halting the healing process. It was Princess Mina's doing. She assured Bai Kai not to be nervous, as it was an easy imitation that even she could easily cut through, and urged everyone to forget about the corpses and focus all attacks on the boss. The boss got angry, blaming Mina and attacking her, but Bai Kai saved her just in time. Princess Mina apologized, but Bai Kai told her not to say anything, taking the blame for losing focus and failing to take the boss down in one fell swoop. The beast roared, threatening to slaughter Bai Kai, who replied defiantly. The beast sensed something was wrong, noting that Bai Kai's aura felt dangerous and that the smell of blood emanating from him was even stronger than his own. The beast decided to spare him for the day and ran away, leaving everyone in shock. Mina's team apologized to her for not rescuing her earlier and for almost putting her in danger. She reassured them that it was okay since they all survived the encounter with the boss. Bai Kai then left to chase the boss. Princess Mina tried to stop him, suggesting it was best to leave while they could, but Bai Kai insisted he had his own reasons. He caught up to the boss and declared that he must die, killing him instantly and increasing his level by 2. He obtained 320 gold coins, 15,000 soul points, and several items. The Blood Dance Fury Axe, a sharp battle axe soaked in large amounts of blood and flesh that made the wielder easily angered and mad with its unique skill. Blood Dance, a necromancy skill book that allowed control over corpses below level 30. And a blood-sucking mechanism, a deep space device that forcibly absorbed the vitality of beings below level 10 and slowly restored the user's health. Bai Kai returned, and Princess Mina apologized for misjudging his judgment and thanked him for blocking the attack earlier, saying she owed him a favor. Bai Kai replied that she actually owed him 2 favors, but suggested they discuss it after escaping from there. As they began to leave, Bai Kai pondered the exceptions that contradicted the original settings of the game, suspecting that it could be because of the reincarnator. He resolved to figure it out quickly to avoid facing unknown dangers. Gray complimented Bai Kai on his amazing transformation in such a short time and for fighting an incredible battle. The cat-like figure also thanked him for saving them and requested that he fight alongside them until death. Howes apologized to Bai Kai for his previous behavior, expressing shame, hoping for forgiveness, and acknowledging him as a true hero. The system displayed that Princess Mina's reputation for Bai Kai was a debt of gratitude, and their overall evaluation was now friendly. Upon seeing this, Bai Kai wondered about the rewards the reputation system might bring, but he knew he had to gather the best information. Bai Kai humbly stated that he didn't consider himself a hero, but rather a rekindler, someone everyone wished to get rid of, noticing their lack of concern about it. The princess replied, "No doubt your identity as a rekindler is special, but in this situation, we are all targets. Besides you, we have been helped by another powerful rekindler, which creates a strong bond among us." Bai Kai asked her about this other rekindler. The princess replied, "Let's discuss it as we walk," and they proceeded cautiously without letting their guard down. Princess Mina explained to Bai Kai that rekindlers are people who have died and returned to life for unknown reasons, possessing special abilities. Initially ignored by various countries, an ancient prophecy emerged after the First Fallen Star War, predicting that only rekindlers could save and unify the collapsing world. Each country viewed them as heretics, unwilling to relinquish their authority to an outsider. However, the rekindler who recently aided them was different, powerful yet gentle and refined, contrasting the usual cruel and rule-disregarding nature of most rekindlers. Princess Mina noted that Bai Kai resembled this rekindler and considered meeting them fortunate. Regarding the dagger she gave him, called Obscure Gaze of the Watcher, Princess Mina explained that it could conceal his rekindler identity and guide him to find the other rekindler. Bai Kai admired the dagger's craftsmanship. When objections arose from House and Gray about the dagger's importance and potential exposure of the princess's identity, she asserted her decision was final. Bai Kai reflected on the benefits of his reputation and Princess Mina's kind nature, pondering how she could never become a queen due to her lineage being seen as a thorn by the rebellious nations. Gray interrupted his thoughts, asking if Bai Kai had killed all the corpses on his way to rescue them, admiring his skills and expressing gratitude that he wasn't their enemy. The cat pointed to the cave exit, regretting his survival once again. The princess urgently exclaimed that they should escape the cave. Outside, she rejoiced in the warmth of the sunlight, appreciating the feeling of freedom regained. Her teammates were also relieved and happy to be alive and free. Princess Mina thanked Bai Kai once more, saying no amount of gratitude would suffice for saving their lives. Bai Kai reassured her that the dagger was sufficient repayment and inquired about their next move, though he already knew it. Gray hesitated to speak, but House encouraged him, stating Bai Kai was their savior and there was nothing to hide. Princess Mina agreed, admitting she felt embarrassed to say it aloud. She explained they had hired capable mercenaries who betrayed them and stole something precious, a star core, a necklace made from the shattered world stone, a symbol of the royal bloodline of the Kingdom of Stars, and one of the game's most important items. Princess blamed herself for the loss due to her weakness and negligence, though her team reassured her that it was their collective oversight and the enemy's clever disguise. Determined to retrieve the star core, Princess Mina vowed to pursue the thieves relentlessly, regardless of time or distance. Bai Kai suggested he knew their location. Everyone was stunned by this revelation. The team began questioning Bai Kai about how he knew the mercenaries' location and whether he was joking. The cat doubted his credibility. Bai Kai calmly replied, "I'm not joking, and I haven't misled you from the start." The team acknowledged his sincerity. For the first time, Princess Mina joined the conversation, apologizing for doubting him and expressing relief. Bai Kai patted her shoulder reassuringly, promising to lead them to the mercenaries' exact location, though he couldn't reveal how he knew. Princess Mina blushed slightly, saying, "I believe in you." House jokingly shouted from behind, "No flirting when talking to a lady." Gray intervened, asking him to stop. As they approached the burnt jungle, characterized by LV-1020 monsters and perpetual underground fires, they observed a balanced ecosystem despite the harsh conditions. They spotted large, dangerous lizards preying on smaller creatures. Nearby, mercenaries were seen cooking lizards over a fire. One remarked that the jungle wasn't ideal for humans, but the lizards were tasty. The mercenaries, a group of 30 members ranging from LV-20 to LV-30, had set up camp and discussed their gains and hardships. They attributed their current situation to a woman who had been easily deceived into revealing her true identity. Mashal, LV-28, expressed frustration at their stay in the jungle, eager to leave and spend their earnings. Kurov, LV-27, mentioned arrangements made by their boss, Hades, LV-30, though he didn't explain further. Yuri, LV-29, a fire mage who disliked the heat, queried the boss about their prolonged stay, but Hades remained silent, fixated on the necklace. Irritated, Yuri asked again, prompting Hades to snap out of his trance and respond sharply. He questioned them about their vigilance, emphasizing the importance of guarding against any escape attempts by the woman from the Wailing Cave. Reflecting on past events, the mercenaries discussed their capture of Princess Mina and her group, noting her stubbornness in refusing to surrender the necklace even under threat to her subordinates. Frustrated by her defiance, Hades coerced her into handing over the necklace to save her comrades. Mashal inquired about leaving the burnt jungle, tired of waiting and complaining about the presence of women in their group. Yuri commented on Mashal's restless behavior while suggesting selling the necklace in a nearby country to avoid trouble with the 8 nations hunting for Princess Mina. Hades considered selling the necklace to Hades Earldom due to its wealth and ongoing conflict with Wembok Earldom. Reflecting on the necklace's power and its potential to change their fortunes significantly, Hades decided against using it himself, wary of its uncontrollable power. Yuri agreed, emphasizing the desire for a comfortable life over wielding power they couldn't handle. When questioned about his knowledge of secrets, Hades dismissed Yuri's curiosity, instructing the group to prepare for a significant move to Anka village the next day. Meanwhile, Princess Mina, Bai Kai, and their team observed the mercenaries quietly from the burnt jungle. Bai Kai had already dealt with several guards stealthily on their way. Princess Mina contemplated their next move to retrieve the necklace. Suggestions were offered, but Bai Kai proposed acting before nightfall, leveraging the chaos caused by the mercenaries' patrol. Acknowledging the difficulty of dealing with Hades due to his sharp mind, Princess Mina reluctantly agreed to temporarily withdraw and seek another opportunity. Bai Kai assured them, "There's still a chance." House inquired about his plan. Bai Kai explained that despite the mercenaries' numerical advantage, they could exploit the red fire spider nest deep in the jungle. He proposed luring the spiders towards the mercenaries' camp to create a distraction, with a deeper plan to lure out the red fire widow, a LV-30 spider boss, to cause further chaos. The team was surprised by his proposal to face the boss alone. Upon hearing Bai Kai's plan, House commented that it was interesting but challenging to execute. He noted that only Princess Mina and the cat Xiaomiao could use invisibility spells. Xiaomiao corrected them in an upset tone, stating he was a tiger, not a cat. Princess Mina explained that her invisibility spell could only be cast individually, and once she and Xiaomiao turned invisible, the monsters would focus on House and Gray. House reassured them not to worry about him and Gray, emphasizing the importance of retrieving the necklace. He mentioned that Xiaomiao would protect Princess Mina if needed. Bai Kai distributed items to the team, including the Shadow of Solitude, a temporary invisibility drink, the Whisper of the Divine, a communication device, and a frost grenade for freezing enemies. The team was shocked to receive such rare items for free. Xiaomiao joked about Bai Kai possibly being a king's illegitimate child in his past life. Bai Kai dismissed the question, urging them to focus on the plan. Princess Mina expressed concern over giving away valuable ancestral items, mentioning that even current kings and religious cults revere original deep space artifacts. She noted the Deep Space Observing Academy's role in advancing military technology through reverse engineering, despite its contributions to human violence. Bai Kai speculated that Princess Mina had used these items to hire mercenaries on the black market, leading to the loss of both money and the ancestral necklace. Embarrassed, Princess Mina asked how he knew, to which Bai Kai simply replied that he guessed, understanding her situation. He reassured her that everything would be restored, leaving Princess Mina blushing and wondering why his words always reassured her. Bai Kai checked if the system had updated the main quest to retrieve the Star Core, offering new account unlocking points as a reward. He asked the system about ways to earn more of these points, learning that completing designated tasks, defeating regressors, and accumulating soul points were the methods. Bai Kai found the tasks manageable but acknowledged the uncertainty in their plan, which could only be verified through actual combat. Standing before the red fire spider nest deep in the burnt jungle, Princess Mina's team proceeded as per Bai Kai's plan. They began destroying spider eggs to enrage the boss. House questioned whether this tactic would work, prompting Gray to assert they had no other choice but to trust Bai Kai's commands. True to Bai Kai's prediction, the enraged spider boss appeared, prompting them to retreat towards the mercenaries' camp. The LV-30 spider boss, with multiple tentacles, confronted them angrily, confirming Bai Kai's foresight. The spider boss, addressing Bai Kai, demanded to know his purpose. Bai Kai calmly replied, inviting a confrontation. The spider boss transformed into a humanoid form, expressing interest in Bai Kai as more than just an ordinary human. She approached him, proposing they mate to produce more offspring. Bai Kai swiftly struck her neck, rejecting her advances and avoiding her neurotoxin injection. Escaping, Bai Kai lured the spider boss towards the mercenaries' camp, knowing that luring it out of its territory was crucial for victory. He understood from the game's original settings that the boss was territorial and would not leave its domain despite provocation. Confident in his plan, Bai Kai baited the boss further by taunting its territorial dominance. The boss initially considered Bai Kai weak but became intrigued by the prospect of draining 30 strong males. Bai Kai led the spider boss towards the mercenaries' camp, satisfied that his judgment had been correct. He reflected on the complexities underlying the game's surface settings, realizing he could use his understanding and creativity to achieve what was previously impossible in the game. Princess Mina and her team continued to lure the spider hatchlings near the camp, thrilled with Bai Kai's ingenious strategy. The princess instructed them not to get distracted as they approached the camp and went invisible to redirect the spider's aggression toward the mercenaries' camp. "We must execute this plan perfectly," she ordered. "Split into 4 groups and surround the camp from all sides. With Bai Kai's items, it's now possible." Near the mercenaries' camp, they dispersed. Inside the camp, the boss learned about the deaths of his men. "These 2 were taken down quietly," reported the men on shift change. "No one noticed anything. We scouted the area. There was no one around. Could it have been a wild beast?" Examining the bodies, the boss replied, "No, someone slit their throats with a dagger. Judging by the weaponry and the clean execution, none of our team could have done this. But who could it be?" Suddenly, a man rushed in, reporting, "The camp is being invaded by spider monsters swarming from all sides. I caught a glimpse of that woman, but she disappeared." Shocked, the boss thought, it's impossible for that woman to have escaped that cave. Meanwhile, at the mercenaries' camp, they were overwhelmed by the spider monsters. "We can't kill them all," shouted the men as the camp went up in flames. Yuri, Maxell, and Kira fought alongside others, astonished to see spiders so far from their nest. The leader arrived at the campsite, and his men urged him to lead a counterattack. "Not now," the boss replied. "We've been set up. Grab the money and run. We can't win this." Concerned about their comrades, the men protested. "What about the others?" the boss coldly stated. "They're meant to take hits in critical moments." As the spider boss attacked, gold coins flew into the air. Seeing the mercenaries fleeing, the spider boss declared, "Now I can have many eggs," capturing men with its tentacles. "I'll turn you all into my nourishment," it roared. Spotting the boss running, the spider taunted, "You sent someone to harvest my silk, yet here I am. You're running away?" The leader pondered the spider's mention of a powerful kid, wondering, could he be the mastermind? But why would he harm us? Is he with the princess? Dismissing the thought, he reasoned, if the princess had such allies, she wouldn't need our help. One of his injured men grabbed his leg, pleading for help. He helped him up, but then threw him towards the spider boss, fleeing himself. "I can't fight without knowing their capabilities," he thought. "I must use the ground and my speed to escape." He dashed into the jungle, reflecting sadly on his team's destruction, but finding solace in the necklace he still possessed. Spotting the princess running, he blamed her for everything. "It's all her doing," he thought angrily, deciding, "This time, I won't let her get away." He attacked her from behind, shouting, "Die!" As he attacked the princess, Bai Kai interfered, taunting the leader about missing his chance and trying to backstab him earlier. Bai Kai explained that his elemental ranger trait naturally granted him immunity to backstabbing, and if the leader had attacked recklessly, he would have been stunned and at a disadvantage. The leader, looking impressed, admitted he had overestimated Bai Kai, but vowed to give him a painful death to compensate for the regret, and attacked. Bai Kai dodged the attack. The leader remarked that it was useless since elemental rangers were the nemesis of stealth assassins. Bai Kai knew that stealth assassins couldn't gain an advantage over elemental rangers with invisibility or backstabbing due to class-based restraints, but battle experience could compensate, making it not necessarily the key to victory. He counterattacked. Hades admitted that Bai Kai's battle experience was beyond his expectations, but he thought that the overwhelming difference in skill level rendered that experience meaningless. He noted that Bai Kai had a base level of 10 and a peak level of 30, where the peak level only affected attributes but not skills, and thus Bai Kai's skills were at level 10, while he had the full Elemental Ranger level 30 advanced skill. Advancing towards Bai Kai, Hades shouted that he would end it there, intending to kill Bai Kai first and then the princess. Bai Kai challenged him, claiming that he had a way to take him down if he dared to face him one-on-one. Hades asked what it was. Bai Kai laughed and said it was by cheating, taking out a crest stone that unlocked level 50 skills for 3 minutes, and using the assassination formation skill to take him down. Hades, thinking it was an illusion or a word trick, shouted that he would take all those tricks by killing Bai Kai, only to find out it wasn't an illusion. Admitting that it truly had the terrifying oppression of a level 50 skill, Hades thought he needed to escape to avoid dying and wondered why Bai Kai had such high-level items. As he fled, he was captured by Shadow Assassin Claws. Bai Kai taunted him, asking why he was running after wanting to make his death painful. Hades asked why Bai Kai hadn't used such powerful items earlier, accusing him of pretending to be weak. He questioned why Bai Kai was going so far, as the princess had nothing against him. Bai Kai replied that Hades was smart, but his cleverness led him down the wrong path. Accepting his wrongdoing, Hades offered a necklace in exchange for his life, but Bai Kai now wanted both the necklace and his life, using a magical skill to paralyze him completely. Hades, coughing, asked to be killed rather than toyed with, but Bai Kai said he couldn't kill him because of a promise made to someone and took the necklace. The system displayed that the side quest was completed and that player Bai Kai obtained 8,000 soul points and 3 account unlock points. Turning towards the princess, Bai Kai told her that his task was finished and invited her to ask any questions before the boss arrived. The princess approached Hades, questioning why he hadn't killed them directly, but threw them into the cave, wanting to know the true reason. Hades, in a pained voice, replied sarcastically, asking if she expected him to say it was out of some shred of goodness in him, hoping to be spared. He declared it ridiculous and stated that he just wanted them to die more painfully and deeply regretted not killing them from the start. Accepting his fate, he emphasized that he had no delusions of mercy. Bai Kai reflected that even at death's door, Hades remained stubborn. He mused that Hades's fate wasn't the only one at stake, noting that Hades had gambled on the princess's luck. If Bai Kai had chosen not to save her, she might have escaped from the Howling Cave, and Hades would have pledged allegiance to her to help reclaim her kingdom. This would have benefited Bai Kai, as the princess's faction would be with him. Bai Kai considered his own interests paramount, regardless of the impact on others, reflecting on the cruelty of their world. In a painful voice, Hades told the princess that her fate was far worse than his because she was up against the whole world. House, enraged, shouted for him to shut up and tried to hit him, but the boss entered and announced that Hades belonged to him, capturing him. Laughing, Hades expressed satisfaction at not being killed by their hands and suggested they all die together. Then the boss turned towards Bai Kai and declared that he had finally found him. The boss declared that Bai Kai had led him to the camp, which he had then cleaned out, leaving only Bai Kai. After capturing him, the boss planned to return to his nest and enjoy his capture at leisure. Bai Kai instructed Mina and her team to back off and let him handle the boss since there was less than a minute left in the class crest stone, so he needed to finish quickly. However, they refused, insisting that they also needed to help him and that they should assist. The boss shouted a threat, stating that if they resisted, he would kidnap them and kill the woman. As the boss began to attack, it heard a roaring sound and demanded to know who dared to roar at its head. It was an ancient dragon that captured the boss with one claw. Everyone was shocked by the appearance of the ancient dragon named Daijin Black, whose level was unknown, causing them to panic. Bai Kai ordered them to stand still and not make any sudden movements. Bai Kai thought it was another deviation from the original scenario and needed to find a solution quickly. The boss, in anger, asked what kind of fool the dragon was, accusing it of invading his territory and seeking death, but the dragon ate the boss instantly. While Bai Kai recalled the original game setting, where there is racial recognition between wild species, ignoring level and racial differences, it is just pure aggression. The delay caused by the red spider boss gave him time to remember information about the black dragon. The dragon was actually a guardian dragon, and besides this male dragon, there were 2 female dragons, all of them legendary level powerful beings. Since the world of souls shattered and the kingdom fell, Daijin Black was last seen during the first Falling Star War and then completely vanished without a trace. Although Bai Kai had encountered this hidden boss countless times, facing it now meant certain death. The dragon began to breathe fire, causing the princess and her team to believe they were doomed. Bai Kai pleaded with the dragon not to kill them, asserting that they were not its enemies. The dragon looked towards him, shocking Mina and her team as they realized Bai Kai was speaking in a foreign language they couldn't understand, which Princess Mina identified as dragon language. The dragon asked Bai Kai how a tiny human knew dragon language, noting that less than 10 humans in history could speak it. Bai Kai replied that he not only knew dragon language, but also recognized the dragon's noble and hidden identity as an honorable guardian. Bai Kai had actually used a skill book Dragon Whisper that allowed the user to learn dragon language, but one wrong word could turn them into flying charcoal. Bai Kai greeted the dragon and offered his highest respect to the most honored partner of the Starshine royalty. The dragon demanded an explanation from Bai Kai on how he knew its real identity, warning that he would die if he couldn't explain himself. The dragon expressed distrust towards humans, stating that they represent weakness and cunningness, and vowed never to trust any human again. Bai Kai, noticing the dragon's wound, thought it might be the reason for its agitation. In the original game, Daijin Black did not actively harm humans, leading Bai Kai to wonder if this unexpected event was connected to the regressor. The dragon, growing impatient, demanded that Bai Kai speak or die. Bai Kai urged the guardian not to be angry, insisting that he would not dare to deceive it. He explained that he knew all these things because he served the last descendant of the Starshine royalty, who shared a deep bond with the dragon. He introduced Princess Mina as the last bloodline of the Starshine royalty. Although Mina did not know what Bai Kai was planning, she knew she must hold on, and that her aura must not falter. Bai Kai reminded the dragon of its contract, according to which it could not harm her and had to protect her at all costs. The dragon, angered, retorted that it protected the world of souls and did not babysit humans. It stated that the contract with the Starshine was just for amusement and had ended when the kingdom fell. Now, he was losing patience, but he offered Bai Kai one last chance to prove his claims, or they would all die. Bai Kai showed the Star Core necklace to the dragon to prove his stance, but it enraged the dragon to see a mortal touch the supremely great Star Core. The dragon breathed fire on them, declaring that anyone who does this must die. Bai Kai retorted that the dragon attacked before he finished speaking and broke the contract, losing its dignity and falling into darkness. To escape the fire, Bai Kai sacrificed his 2 precious deep space items. Seeing this, the dragon breathed fire again. Bai Kai began to think about how he could break this deadlock. If he unlocked a new account, the chances of winning were too slim, and he couldn't find any item that could handle an ancient dragon. If he used the previously unlocked Blood Dragon set and Dragon Bone, it could save his life, but his strength attribute was far too low to wield them. There was only one way left. He turned to Princess Mina and told her that to break the deadlock, there was only one method, but it would cause her immense pain. The princess told him to do whatever was necessary, as long as they could all live. The method he thought of would save everyone but cause immense pain to the princess. He hit the princess, rendering her unconscious. House shouted, asking what he was doing. Bai Kai asked them not to tell the princess a single word about what happened there. He cut the princess between her chests and removed a stone from her body. A golden light filled the whole place. The dragon recognized the figure that appeared before it. He was the first king of the kingdom, Starshine, Minatili's Starshine. The dragon said that he had been dead for 100 years and questioned how he could appear again, thinking it must be an illusion. Bai Kai said that whether it was an illusion or not, they should fight to find out. The dragon breathed fire again, using his ultimate breath, which could even melt the hardest steel, shouting that they should not have used Minatili's image to provoke him. Bai Kai said the dragon should open his eyes wider to see whether it was an illusion or not. As the dragon tried to attack, the first king started to counterattack, filling the whole area with his power. The dragon said that it saw him die in front of its eyes and didn't expect the star core to hide such heaven-defying power.